On the day of the abortion, Erin's intern posted a photograph of her pregnant abdomen on Facebook, captioned "A happy family of 3, with Erin's watch deliberately visible in the bottom left corner," and I liked the post. Erin immediately called me, saying, "Julia, how can you be so malicious? Maggie is newly pregnant and cannot handle stress, could you not pretend to ignore it?" I responded with an "oh" and hung up. 3 minutes later, Erin changed his profile picture to a photograph with the intern, indicating he maintained another household beyond ours, where their child was soon to be born. When Erin returned home, I was lying in bed, drenched in cold sweat from post-surgical pain. He frowned upon seeing me and loudly struck the dining table, asking, "Julia, where is dinner? I have been exhausted all day outside, and I return home without even a hot meal. Is this how you fulfill your role as a wife?" Erin declared with righteous indignation. It seemed as though my failure to prepare a single meal was a grievous offense, though I understood he was seeking fault due to my earlier liking of Maggie's post. Thus, I remained unangered and calmly countered, "If you are hungry, why not ask Maggie to cook for you?" Erin immediately bristled, retorting, "How can a pregnant woman cook?" "Julia, you are becoming increasingly unreasonable," before noisily banging pots and pans, reluctantly preparing 2 dishes, and eating without looking up. I paid him no heed, so the meal Erin prepared did not include a portion for me. Typically, unable to bear his anger, I would shamelessly placate him and serve myself a bowl. Normally, I would eat with him while enduring his reprimands, but this time, I ordered takeout, and upon its arrival, Erin's expression darkened further. He threw the bag at me, exclaiming, "There is food at home, yet you order out. Julia, you are truly remarkable," causing half the red date porridge inside to spill, sticking to me in a nauseating, viscous manner. I furrowed my brow but had not yet spoken when Erin preemptively snapped, "So filthy. Julia, are you paralyzed? Must you eat in bed?" I had never informed Erin of my pregnancy, so he remained unaware that our child was now lost. Observing my cold demeanor, he took a deep breath, reluctantly fetched a towel, and began wiping me, muttering, "Julia, I must have owed you in a past life to live so wearily because of you." While grumbling, he tidied the mess, and after restoring order, Erin looked up at me expectantly, hoping for my usual praise, but I was in too much pain to oblige. Thus, after a few seconds of tense standoff, Erin kissed me directly on the lips, a common method in our older woman-younger man relationship to resolve daily disputes through physical contact. Erin intended to do the same this time, but unfortunately, just as he was about to touch me, Maggie's call came through, and I answered it. Maggie's voice immediately filled the room. "Brother Erin, the baby keeps kicking my belly, I can't soothe him, come quickly to help me discipline him." Maggie's voice was as sweet as concentrated honey, and upon hearing it, Erin instantly forgot about me, saying, "Maggie, don't worry, I'll come right now." I remained emotionless, maintaining my previous posture, when Erin suddenly recalled something and turned back to me, saying, "Julia, drive me, I just drank and can't drive." My husband requested his wife to drive him to his lover. In that moment, I genuinely could not discern whether Erin was naive or cruel, and meeting his entitled gaze, I sighed lightly, saying nothing further but, "Okay, I'll drive you," perhaps surprising him with my acquiescence. Erin gave me a cold glance and inexplicably remarked, "You seem eager for me to leave," to which I helplessly replied, "If I don't want you to leave, will you stay?" Choking on his words, he avoided saying yes, slammed the door loudly, and descended the stairs ahead of me. Having undergone an abortion earlier that day, even a slightly brisk walk now induced dizziness. Entering the car with pale lips, I stuffed a piece of candy into my mouth and forcefully pressed the accelerator. I drove rapidly, the night wind rushing in, yet it failed to dissipate the overpowering, sweet scent of Maggie's gardenia perfume lingering in the car. Detecting the scent, Erin offered an uneasy explanation, "You gave me this car, so it's mine, whom I transport as my liberty," to which I stared ahead silently, prompting him to cough lightly and add, "At worst, I'll return the car to you. Why are you making that face?" Upon reaching the destination, before Erin could react, I leaned over and opened the car door for him, stating, "I'm not angry, go, Miss Maggie is waiting for you." Noticing that I neither argued loudly as usual nor inquired further about his affairs, Erin appraised me and approvingly remarked, "That's more like it." As Aaron exited the car, Maggie abruptly rushed from behind and embraced him tightly, exclaiming, "Brother Aaron, you really came. I knew, with such a long night, you wouldn't bear to leave me alone." In the darkness, they clung to each other like a genuine couple, with Aaron cautiously protecting Maggie, saying, "Your belly is large, don't press it," while she gazed at him with complete reliance. They embraced nonchalantly for an extended period before Maggie, as if suddenly noticing me, spoke, "Sister Julia? Why did you bring Brother Aaron here?" "Oh, I understand, as a woman, you empathize with pregnancy, so you deliberately lent Brother Aaron to me." After Maggie finished, Aaron chuckled lightly, tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear, saying, "Maggie, you're truly foolish for 3 years post-pregnancy. Julia has never had a baby in her womb, she's merely a hen that doesn't lay eggs." Aaron had insulted me thus repeatedly, yet whenever I offered the slightest retort, he would casually counter, "Julia, how old are you now? Can't you take a joke? You truly lack humor, I won't jest with you anymore, alright," ultimately portraying himself as the aggrieved party. Meanwhile, I could only hold myself tightly, repeatedly recalling the Aaron who pursued me during our courtship. "Sister, I like you. Sister, date me. I'm a responsible man, if I love you, I'll surely marry you." Unable to resist his advances, I revealed the scar concealed within my heart, yet Aaron dismissed it, instead consoling me, "Sister, you're the victim, those who bullied you are the ones who should be damned and punished. Sister, be with me, and I'll surely protect you henceforth." I trusted Aaron, but 3 years into marriage, everything changed. The one who bullied me most became the very person who had vowed to protect me. How could I not harbor resentment? Yet, as of today, I will no longer allow Aaron's provocations to sway my emotions or be manipulated by him like a fool. With a cold sneer, I pressed the accelerator and headed straight to the recuperation center. Post-abortion, my body was frail, requiring a full 7-day stay at the recuperation center before resuming work at the company, where a project I recently managed yielded highly favorable returns. My supervisor summoned me to the office, routinely inquiring, "Will you again decline this group vacation?" Typically, after each project's success, the company organized team outings, offering generous benefits such as international trips or island retreats. However, Aaron's sensitivity and aversion to my interactions with other men had always led me to decline such opportunities, despite never having visited those destinations. For his sake, this time, facing my supervisor's regretful gaze, I firmly stated, "I want to go," eliciting great satisfaction from him, who then allocated funds for me to purchase vacation attire. Ironically, despite earning a substantial income annually, I spent a mere fraction on myself. Prompted by my supervisor, I indulged in an afternoon of fervent shopping at the mall, and upon returning home, retrieved a dust-covered suitcase from the wardrobe, meticulously wiping it clean with tissues as Aaron entered. Seeing the suitcase, his expression shifted, and his voice rose sharply, "Julia, is this necessary? I've only been away a few days, and you're planning to run away from home? Do you think you're still a 3-year-old? Aaron assumed I was upset over his absence, oblivious that I too had been at the recuperation center these past days and had not returned, rendering his reaction absurd in my eyes. Yet, I couldn't help but ponder inwardly, if I were to truly vanish from this house one day, how long would it take Aaron to notice? 10 days, 20, or longer? And if, in old age, I suffered an accident alone in this house, could Aaron return before my last breath? Before I could resolve this, Aaron emerged from the bathroom with a basin of cold water, splashing it over me with a whoosh, leaving me shivering from the chill. Aaron then flung the basin aside, his lips curling into a malicious smirk as he taunted, "Julia, are you awake now? I merely accompanied Maggie, what right have you to throw a fit? Don't forget, her child was conceived for your sake." After speaking, Aaron slammed the door with a bang, having reprimanded me sufficiently, and departed to revel all night at a bar with others, as evidenced by Maggie's Facebook update featuring a video of them dancing cheek to cheek. Numerous friends of Aaron commented excitedly below, "Sister-in-law, you're the hottest pregnant woman. Brother Aaron has finally wised up, how can an old woman compare to a fresh graduate? When did Brother Aaron divorce, and why didn't he invite me for drinks?" Minutes later, Maggie replied, "Don't rush, soon. My body was cold, but my heart colder still. That night, I lay in bed, tossing and turning sleeplessly, reflecting on 5 years of courtship and 3 of marriage with Aaron, during which my womb remained barren. Aaron's parents, eager for a grandson, incessantly pressured me, eventually berating me face to face. "Julia, you old woman, you harbor ill intentions, lacking fertility, how dare you marry my son?" Humiliated, I bowed my head, repeatedly tempted to clarify that I hadn't initiated this relationship, yet I endured under Aaron's soothing words. Subsequently, Aaron's parents escalated their actions, chaining our door shut on a workday as I attempted to leave for work, with his father shouting through the door, "Today is your ovulation day, you're permitted nowhere but bed." Unable to tolerate such a life, I proposed relocating to another city with Aaron several times, to which he responded by suggesting he'd devise a solution, Maggie being that solution. He explained to me that Maggie, being young, could conceive after a few encounters. Once pregnant and having given birth, he would bring the child for me to raise, thus relieving me of the pressure to bear children. In that instant, gazing at Aaron, I felt I had never truly known him. In a fit of pique, I said, "Fine, then go have a child with her," unsure if he missed my sarcasm or seized the opportunity, as a month later he indeed presented a pregnancy test report. Maggie was pregnant. My husband had committed infidelity, yet he claimed it was all due to me, asserting that Maggie bore the child on my behalf. How utterly shameless. In Highshire, with its humid air, pleasant climate, and beautiful beaches, I often sat alone by the sea, lost in thought watching the waves, unable to fathom how my life had devolved into this state. Yet, the benefit of a collective was evident. Whenever I sank into an emotional vortex, someone would extricate me, urging, "Sister Julia, the scenery is so beautiful, come take photos." At my colleague's fervent insistence, I donned a bikini unworn for years, posing elegantly on a paddleboard, eliciting praise. "Sister Julia, your figure is phenomenal. We never noticed before with your long sleeves and pants." "Indeed, Sister Julia, you're so striking, your husband is truly fortunate to marry such a beauty." My colleagues showered me with continuous praise, as if meeting me anew. I smiled and, when posting online, included a swimsuit photo under the sunset glow among numerous group shots. However, mere seconds after posting, Maggie sent me a video in which she intimately leaned on Aaron's shoulder. Across the table, Aaron's parents smiled at them, affectionately calling Maggie daughter-in-law and inviting her to dine. "Julia, if I were you, I'd be too ashamed to bare my stomach," Maggie taunted, occupying brother Aaron's wife's position without continuing his lineage. "How thick-skinned are you?" instantly plunging my once delightful mood into despair. I preserved that video and sought the industry's most renowned divorce attorney, determined to expedite my divorce. 2 weeks later, the vacation concluded. Aaron obtained my flight details from a colleague and offered to pick me up, which I coolly declined with, "No need." Aaron persisted, "Julia, I didn't realize that day you were packing for a business trip, so I was a bit impulsive, grant me a chance to apologize." Unable to dissuade him, I relented, but upon disembarking, dragging a massive suitcase down elevators and circling the parking lot for his car, Aaron seemed to have vanished, his phone unreachable, messages unanswered. The underground parking lot was oppressively humid. Lingering too long left me dizzy and drenched in sweat, and just as I concluded I couldn't wait for Aaron and prepared to leave, the power abruptly failed. The vast parking lot plunged into darkness. I screamed and immediately crouched, clutching my head, as the overwhelming obscurity evoked distressing past memories. With trembling hands, I dialed Aaron, pleading, "Where are you? Save me, it's so dark." Before I could finish, Aaron interrupted, "Wife, Maggie says her stomach hurts, she's far along and can't risk a mishap, so I'll check on her. Wait a bit, I'll definitely return to pick you up soon." After speaking, Aaron hung up. I closed my eyes, staring at my phone with only one battery bar left, sinking again into despair, believing the boundless darkness would soon engulf me entirely. Suddenly, a deep voice emerged overhead, "Classmate Julia, are you all right?" Lifting my gaze, I was startled to see an exceptionally refined and handsome face. Vincent escorted me home, and noting my poor condition, considerately left after reaching the doorstep. Once he departed, I was overwhelmed by past events, slipping unwittingly into nightmares. As Aaron entered, I awoke screaming from a nightmare, my t-shirt soaked with cold sweat, clinging to my body and accentuating its contours alluringly. Seeing this, Aaron's eyes glinted, his steps toward me eager. "Wife," he rasped, producing a bouquet of gardenias from behind like a treasure, asking, "Do you like it?" Oblivious to my anguish, he sought to gloss over abandoning me with a wilted bunch of gardenias, erring in assuming I favored them. It was Maggie who did. I refused the flowers, maintaining a cold distance from Aaron. His expression soured slightly, yet he lunged at me, his hands roving restlessly over my body, murmuring, "Wife, it's been a while since we last." Embracing me without explanation or apology, he eagerly pressed me toward the bed. Enraged, I slapped his face before I could speak. Aaron grew angrier before I did, snapping, "Julia, playing hard to get has its time and place. What airs are you putting on now? Do you think I'd touch you if not for Maggie's pregnancy?" His tone was icy, a cigarette dangling carelessly from his lips. Incensed, I retorted impulsively, "Then get out. Go to someone else." "Me, get out?" Aaron sneered, "Your stepfather long ago ruined you. What chaste martyr are you pretending to be now?" "Julia, is this amusing?" and insultingly blew smoke rings into my face. Nearly being sexually assaulted by my stepfather in childhood left an indelible scar on my life. I had shared this with Aaron years ago, hoping he'd retreat from the challenge. Yet, I never anticipated he'd feign indifference, only to wield it against me in our 8th year together, delivering a devastating blow. My eyes reddened, trembling with fury at Aaron's demeanor. I cried, "I didn't. I've said it repeatedly, I didn't. Why won't you believe me, Aaron?" Standing, I hurled everything within reach at Aaron, who neither dodged nor flinched, merely watching me as if I were deranged, until exhaustion halted my assault. He unbuckled his belt and pinned me down again, sneering, "Julia, who but me would want someone like you? Go ask around who wouldn't find you repulsive?" After speaking, Aaron aimed to kiss my lips, but just before contact, in utter disillusionment, I uttered, "Aaron, let's divorce." My words elicited a fleeting glint of disdain and panic in Aaron's eyes, yet my 8 years of endurance convinced him of my deep love, interpreting my mention of divorce as mere petulance. He toyed with the fine lines at my eye corners with his fingertips, intensifying his efforts to arouse me, saying, "Divorce? Sure. But let me enjoy this one last time." Yet, no matter how he tried to stir me, I remained an impassive pool, unmoved. Incredulous, he tightened his grip on me with increasing force. Clenching my teeth, I endured until his guard was lowest, then struck his abdomen with a fist, a blow sufficient to incapacitate an adult man for 30 seconds, a lesson gleaned from resisting my stepfather's childhood advances. Caught off guard, Aaron's face paled as he collapsed off me, and seizing the moment, I grabbed my phone and fled. Unbeknownst to me, rain had begun pouring outside. Clad in a crumpled nightgown, I dashed downstairs and spotted Vincent's car. 5 hours had passed, yet he remained. "Are you okay?" "The rain's too heavy, get in the car first," Vincent said, momentarily stunned upon seeing me, then swiftly removing his coat to wrap around my quivering frame. Aaron pursued me outside, his eyes reddening with rage upon witnessing this, shouting, "Julia, who is he? No wonder you wouldn't let me touch you, you've got someone else out here." Jealousy blazed in Aaron's eyes, his words devoid of reason. In the past, I'd have corrected and defended myself, but now, each glance at him induced convulsive nausea. Amid the torrential rain, I distinctly felt my final shred of attachment to Aaron dissolve, prompting me to coolly remind him, "Aaron, I'll soon send you the divorce agreement, remember to sign it." This tumultuous day concluded with Vincent taking me home, where he provided clean clothes and offered me his bedroom to sleep in. Initially, I felt uneasy, but Vincent merely smiled, assuring me, "It's fine," and for once, I enjoyed a restful sleep at his place. The next morning, intending to leave promptly, I was met with Vincent personally baking walnut cookies for breakfast, asking gently from across the table, "Won't you have one?" Noticing my hesitation, he nudged the plate closer, adding, "I remember you used to love them." Vincent was my high school crush of 3 years, an idol I'd planned to confess to upon graduation and attend the same university with, had my stepfather not targeted me. Fate intervened cruelly. In my sophomore year, after stabbing my stepfather's groin, my mother cut off my living expenses, forcing me to drop out and work, delaying my college entrance exam by a year, by which time Vincent had already gone abroad. Now, unexpectedly reunited, Vincent likely regarded me merely as an old classmate to care for, but guilt gnawed at me, making it hard to accept his kindness so readily, prompting me to stammer, "Vincent, I..." My phone's vibration cut me off. Glancing down, I saw Aaron's call, likely suspecting infidelity due to my overnight absence. I blocked his number, yet he persisted with messages via various apps, exasperating me to end this farce swiftly. I gulped down the cookie and hurriedly bid Vincent farewell. "I disturbed you last night. I have something to do soon, so I'll go first," I said, to which Vincent softly replied, "Okay, I'll see you off," heightening my embarrassment as I insisted, "No need, I'll take a taxi." Departing Vincent's residence, I headed straight to the hospital to document my injuries. Overnight, the bruises Aaron inflicted during his coercion had turned alarming and ghastly. I photographed the bruises, printed an injury report, and sent these along with evidence of Aaron's affair with Maggie to my lawyer, who, within 3 hours, drafted a divorce agreement per my specifications. I forwarded the agreement to Aaron, who, after a prolonged silence, called again. Assuming he'd relented, I answered. On the line, Aaron acted as if oblivious, warmly saying, "Wife, your favorite author is holding a signing at Dongpeng Hotel this afternoon. I'll pick you up. Shall we go together?" Perhaps the property division fell short of his expectations, for post-agreement, Aaron began messaging me frequently, solicitously asking, "What do you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?" When I didn't return home, he ordered desserts delivered daily to my office, employing this tactic to reconcile, awaiting my softening, yet never apologizing. His omnipresence extended to appearing abruptly at the cemetery during my grandmother's memorial. I grew up with my grandmother, whose modest pension ensured I was well fed and slept warmly. Had my father not passed and she not fallen ill, I wouldn't have been reluctantly taken by my mother to live with my stepfather in a new home. My grandmother was my most cherished kin. Annually, I made time to honor her Memorial Day, but this time, upon arrival, flowers and offerings already adorned her gravestone. "Wife, you're here," Aaron said, gently grasping my hand before my grandmother's grave upon my arrival, adding, "Wife, she must be watching us now. Let's not argue in her presence, all right?" Aaron knew my grandmother meant the world to me, yet in 3 years of marriage, he always evaded my requests to join me in paying respects. Now, his presence was a shameless ploy to leverage her memory to subdue me. Noting my silence, Aaron smirked triumphantly, addressing my grandmother like a dutiful husband. "Rest assured, grandmother, I love Julia dearly and will treat her well henceforth. He cheated and tried to force himself on me. Grandmother, I'll soon divorce him," I interjected, calmly enumerating Aaron's transgressions. Aaron opened his mouth, looked at me with a silent and determined expression, and was completely panicked. "Julia, how can Maggie be considered cheating? You know she is not important to me. I only take care of her for the sake of the child," Aaron humbly argued. I extended my hand abruptly. "You drove here, right? Car keys?" Baffled, Aaron handed them over. Silently, I opened the door, and the potent gardenia scent inside paled his face anew. "Sister, she gets dizzy without this scent. I permitted her to spray it in the car for the child's sake," he explained, but I sneered silently, hurling baby items from the back seat at his face: clothes, socks, diapers, formula, a gold locket, a family photo. With each item I threw, Aaron's hands clenched tighter at his sides. Finishing, I smirked at him, my tone dripping with sarcasm. "Aaron, infidelity is infidelity. Producing an illegitimate child was your oversight. You claimed she bore it for me, so that bastard must truly carry my DNA." I retorted, "I'm an adult, don't treat me like a fool." With that, I took the driver's seat and sped off, unconcerned with how Aaron would return from the suburban cemetery. At month's end, during Maggie's prenatal checkup, upon learning Aaron gave me the car, she called, berating me, "Julia, you wretch. You're deliberately tormenting me. You know I'm carrying the Gu family's sole heir, yet you'd have me take a taxi. What if something happens en route? Can you compensate?" With Aaron absent, her true nature surfaced starkly. Yet, the infidelity was Aaron's fault. Even if Maggie was morally flawed, he enabled her, so I harbored no anger toward her, merely advising, Maggie, I proposed divorce to Aaron, rather than venting at me, consider how to register your child's household status. He's the Gu family's only heir, she countered, acting swifter than I anticipated. That night, Aaron tracked me to the hotel where I was temporarily staying. His eyes red, as if grievously wronged, he shouted hoarsely, Julia, you're ruthless 8 years together, and you demand divorce so easily. You agreed to my plan initially, why shift all blame to me when you back out? I laughed sardonically, because you're the one who enjoyed it, Aaron. You're irresponsible. Did I impregnate Maggie? After all these years, can't you distinguish my jests from sincerity? Stop excusing your disloyalty. Seeing my resolve, Aaron dropped to his knees with a thud, then assume I erred. Sister, I admit my fault. I won't dare again. Once Maggie delivers, I'll never see her again, okay? Forgive me. Younger than me, Aaron believed apologies could erase all, unaware that affection is partial. I tolerated him because I loved him, but loveless now, even his kneeling to death would leave me unmoved. Aaron, I began, but his phone rang. Maggie screamed weakly on the other end, Brother Aaron, my stomach hurts so much, it feels like labor, can you pick me up? Aaron, will I die? If I do, tell the baby mommy loves her, okay? Aaron's eyes jolted, rising to leave, but noticing my composed gaze, he explained, Sister, sorry, I swear this is the last time I step away. You can't swear that, I replied with a faint, cruelly direct smile. Aaron, you can win me back, I offered, stay here today, go nowhere, and I'll drop the divorce talk, but if you leave, then, we part amicably, no entanglements. Hearing this, Aaron's departing foot halted abruptly, distractedly, he said, but Maggie's giving birth, she can't manage without me, while I remained silent. 3 minutes later, his phone rang again, its shrill tone a nocturnal reminder. This time, Aaron didn't hesitate, swiftly striding away. Aaron stayed with Maggie in the hospital for 3 full days, yet despite her constant complaints of pain, she produced nothing. Regret consuming him, Aaron pursued me again, locating me at our high school reunion venue. Back when he courted me, he'd been ostentatious, following every classmate I was connected with. Now present, attendees winked at me suggestively, their tones envious. Julia, your husband keeps a tight watch, I envy your strong bond. Fearing I'd say something unflattering, Aaron preempted me, toasting the speaker, marrying sister is my fortune, I cherish it deeply. The dim yellow lighting in the room reflected in Aaron's eyes, lending him a gentle, affectionate air, earning others' admiration, while a cold smile lingered on my lips. At the reunion, Vincent inevitably came up, a classmate noted, I heard Vincent returned recently, while another asked, Julia, you were closest to him back then, have you met already? Vincent excelled academically, perpetually occupied with competitions. Our supposed closeness stemmed merely from my persistent, shameless questioning due to a crush, prompting Aaron's curious probe, Vincent? Sister, why have I never heard you mention him? Soon, Vincent entered and sat beside me, triggering Aaron's alarmed realization, isn't he that guy, recalling the night Vincent retrieved me, instantly putting him on edge. He whispered incessantly in my ear, Sister, were you with him? Do you like him still like him now? Annoyed by his clamor, I opened my bag, placed the pre-printed divorce agreement before him, eyebrows slightly raised, Aaron, your filth doesn't taint everyone, we agreed last time, when will you sign? His face shifted dramatically, lips bitten, speechless for a long while. After 3 rounds of drinks, Vincent whispered in my ear, have you forgiven him? His low voice sending a shiver through me, numbing half my body. My wrist knocked over a glass, brown liquid instantly soaking Vincent's trousers, prompting my regretful, sorry. I didn't mean to. Vincent smiled, no matter, just help me deal with it, and as we rose together, Aaron hurriedly followed in a panic. Vincent's pants were drenched across a wide area. I handed him tissues one by one from my bag, and he wiped them dry bit by bit, with scant conversation between us. Yet, witnessing this, Aaron lunged at Vincent, jealousy raging in his eyes, spewing profanities, convinced Vincent had swayed me into demanding divorce. Vincent, a judo champion, felled the seemingly brash Aaron in under 20 seconds, slamming him hard to the ground. Writhing in pain, unable to rise, sweat beaded profusely on Aaron's forehead as he groaned on the floor. Julia, I think I've broken something. I focused solely on the scratch Aaron left on Vincent's hand, saying, sorry, do you need a rabies shot or tetanus? I'll contact a hospital now. Hearing me, Aaron, pained and furious, trembled all over. Julia, I'm your husband yet you're shielding this outsider now? I cast him a cold glance, casually retorting, Aaron, don't be so hypocritical, noting his habitual preference for Maggie over me. Supporting Vincent, I exited the restroom, then, recalling something, returned to stand before Aaron. Seeing me return, Aaron's eyes lit up, hastily blurting, Sister, I understand your feelings now, I'll never again. But before he finished, I lifted a bucket of dirty water from the corner and doused him. Aaron, don't you get it? I said, our divorce stems from many reasons, but the paramount one is I no longer love you. I won't endure or see your face anymore. Stop pestering me, or I'll sue for divorce outright. The light in Aaron's eyes dimmed gradually, realizing I'd truly abandoned him. He abruptly pulled the divorce agreement from his pocket moments later. Julia, you wouldn't want Vincent jailed, right? He threatened, he beat me like this. How many years do you think he'd serve if I pressed charges? To avert divorce, Aaron resorted to threats, forgetting we hadn't yet obtained the divorce certificate. Vincent's assault might be criminal, but mine was mere domestic violence. I grabbed everything in the restroom, battering Aaron until his head bled, then dialed Maggie for him. That night, as I accompanied Vincent for bandaging at the hospital, Aaron was wheeled into surgery. 2 ribs fractured, one piercing his kidney, causing renal hemorrhage. The operation spanned hours. Emerging, Aaron hung his head silently, while Maggie, to cheer him, danced a bunny dance in the ward, triggering labor. As she was rushed to the delivery bed, Aaron's parents eyed her expectantly, hoping for a grandson to bolster the Gu lineage, but after 3 hours of painless labor, Maggie bore a daughter. Valuing sons over daughters, Aaron's parents, denied a grandson, promptly left the hospital. With Aaron injured and Maggie postpartum, their trio struggled there for half a month. Aaron's parents received an anonymous text, a single multimedia page, my abortion report driving them mad. They ambushed my commute to work, demanding, why did you kill our grandson? Even Aaron, defying medical staff, stormed from the hospital to confront me. Julia, why on earth did you abort the child? I invited them to a private coffee shop room. Under their expectant stares, I displayed Maggie's Facebook screenshot from that day on my phone before Aaron, my tone tinged with loss and innocence. You're a happy family of 3. I couldn't let my child become a fatherless outcast, could I? I prompted, leading Aaron to recall that day. He rued his actions, anguishedly tugging his hair. While I found it merely laughable, Maggie carried a daughter, the outcome unsurprising. Yet, whether my aborted child was a boy or girl remained an enigma, destined to torment Aaron lifelong. He deserved such anguish. Tossing him a pen, I watched Aaron sign the divorce agreement, then, invigorated, removed the diamond ring from my finger and flung it at his face. Aaron, one last piece of good news, I said, when Maggie was with you, she hadn't ended things with her ex. Your daughter likely lacks your DNA, striking him like a thunderbolt. That day, he conducted a paternity test with the child, and the results affirmed my veracity. Maggie had merely sought a scapegoat all along. As the at-fault party in our marriage, Aaron already held a weak position in asset division. Learning of Maggie's profound betrayal further diminished his standing. Enraged, he sued Maggie to reclaim all expenses from their relationship. Penniless but defiant, they battled like foes in court for 6 months, only to inexplicably reunite the day Maggie announced another pregnancy. Aaron's parents coerced them into a wedding. Being a second marriage, they hosted just a few tables, to Maggie's displeasure, though Aaron, eyeing a daughter not his own, cared little for her feelings. A year later, Maggie birthed another girl. Upon hearing this, Aaron's parents lambasted her from the delivery bed, and before her postpartum recovery, she conceived a 3rd child. With 2 infants at home, the house echoed with cries or reeked through diapers. Aaron yearned to flee, but the house and car were my premarital assets, leaving him nothing post-divorce. Now residing with his parents in his hometown, bereft of means to escape. In profound regret, Aaron remembered me, sending lengthy messages, hundreds of words cramming the screen, requiring vigorous scrolling to reach the end. I had no time to savor his bitter remorse, for Vincent, ever the jealous type, used my phone to send Aaron 50 cents as payment for his essays. He then discarded the phone, reverently kissing my forehead, nose, and downward to my cesarean scar, tickling me until I trembled, forgetting even Aaron's visage. Post-divorce from Aaron, Vincent professed his feelings. After 6 months together, we married swiftly, and within a week, I discovered my pregnancy twins, rare, and rarer still boy-girl twins, which we fortunately had, now sleeping beside us as the nanny stood by in the servant's room. Vincent's kisses deepened, leaving me breathless, so I pushed him, only for him to seize my fingers, saying, "Classmate Julia, July is midsummer, let's abandon the kids and elope." Gazing at his face, nearly unchanged since 18, I gripped Vincent's hand firmly. My love could warm kin or heal forsaken pets, but never overflow to indulge a certain man's regrets he wasn't worth it. Yet, there is only one Julia. I will live vigorously, striving to embrace each day with happiness,